Items that have eye level 13 or lower and character level 10 minimum requirement. So this is the new things that has been added when it comes to 10.2.5. Has it to do with 10.2.5? I think most likely not. I think this is something that's added already now that they are preparing for something in the future. I don't think that's due to 10.2.5 per se, but close. So basically, the things we have found here has no connection at all to what's coming out in 10.2.5. Like, it has no connection at all. It has no connection to what do we have in 10. What's actually coming out in 10.2.5? The event. We have an event coming out that is like an sort of outdoor, but you're still like closed in kind of scenario. We're getting the follower dungeon as well, and outland dragon riding, stuff like that. None of this is connected to it in any shape or form. So the question is, why is this added into the database? And normally we have seen stuff getting added to the database that has no connection at all, of course. And it comes out later, it turns out to be something like really cool that will you know, come out in WoW. So all these things are interconnected. All the stuff that's under this title here is interconnected. We start with something very simple. The piece of food. This is eye level 15. So meaning it's around that level 10 character. Eye level 15, you eat it, you get a buff, and that buff is versatility. Nothing fancy, nothing huge, but it's there. Now, before we jump into all this gems, all this cool stuff, let's go down first, down here. They have added eye level 13 gear. Each type of gear, mail, plate, leather, and cloth, is getting an entire set of gear. And not only that, each type will also get 1, 2, 3, 4 type of sets. 4 type of sets. What's in common between all these, between like mail, plate, leather, and cloth, is that there is one called Time Runner. Everyone is getting a Time Runner set. So plate's getting one called Time Runner, mail's getting one called Time Runner, cloth and leather, and so on. All these type of gear, all these sets, every single one, even the Time Runner one, every single one. So everyone's getting 4 pieces, right? Each. All of them is a copy of Mr. Pandora gear. Every single gear slot, every single one on each set has one socket. Every one. Okay, now that said, let's go up. There are gems getting added. So we have the sockets on each piece of gear, each piece of slot on the new gear coming out for eye level 13. And it's also new gems coming out. They are eye level 13 as well on these gems, and they're called ephemeral gear, ephemeral gems. These ephemeral gems, if you look at the icon on them, some of them have the exact same icon as WOD. Some of them has exact same icon as Miss Pandaria when it comes to icon-wise, how they look. Except for gems, you're also getting flasks. It says eye level 1 on these. So I don't know if it's going to be eye level 13 later on or if it's going to be actually eye level 1. But it's eye level 1 on these. These are called draught flasks that are added. The interesting about these flasks are that it permanently increases secondary or tertiary stats. We have crit, haste, leech, mastery, power, regen, speed, stamina, verse. Those are the ones we have. Icon-wise, if you don't think about the four up top, we have seen these icons all over different expansions. But the 4 bottom ones, well, not almost 4 bottom ones, these ones are the same icon as Mr. Pandaria. All right, that was the flask, that was the gems and the gear. Now, there's also added eye level 13 rings. 4 type of rings, and all these rings have borrowed power on them. 1, bamboo band. Your damage taken is reduced by amount equal to your dodge, parry, and block chances, but you can no longer dodge, parry, or block. The Cloud Rider, 50% of your overhealing is converted into Searing Light, inflicting holy damage to enemies within 10 yards of your target. Stalwart Band. Your damage taken is reduced by amount equal to your dodge, parry, and block. So 2 of these rings are exact same. I don't know why. These 2. And these 2, Cloud and the Thyrgus one, also exact same. I don't know why. 50% of your overhealing converted to Searing Light, inflicting holy damage to enemies within 10 yards. Okay, that's the rings. So you have gear. Every gear has sockets. You have new gems that you can put into it. You have rings with borrowed power. You have necklaces with borrowed power. It says eye level 1 on them. We'll see if it's going to be 1 or if it's going to be 13. One is Anchor of Reincarnation. Suffering lethal damage will consume this item to restore you. A Sheep Death. Another one restores 20% health. Another one increased damage done by 15% for 15 seconds. Another one increase your haste by 37% and increase the attack speed of all enemies around you for 25% for 15 seconds. So it takes up your haste, it takes down everyone else's attack speed. Freaking crazy. This one we don't know what it does. And the last one, reduced damage taken by 25% for 15 seconds. All these have charges on them, so you can't use them all the time. Don't forget that, except for this one. This one doesn't have a charge. The other one has charges. 10 charges, 10 charges, 5 charges, etc. Okay, except for trinkets, except for necklaces, we're also getting trinkets. Trinkets with eye level 13 on them. And these are no charges. This is borrowed power on a trinket all the time. This one is like a bloodlust. Increase haste by 45% for you and everyone around you in your party and raid. It will work as a bloodlust because you get this debuff after it as well. Chaos brand. Your damage brands the target, increasing magic damage taken by 5%. Oh, there it is. You don't need a demon hunter anymore. Flickering blossom. Teleports you forward 20 yards or until reaching an obstacle, and frees you from all stuns and bonds. That's literally like a blink that mages have. Then we have a trinket that is a time runner trinket. We don't know what it does yet. Those are the things we're getting. So basically, we are literally getting a full set. Every gear slot, every freaking gear slot, even weapons. So it's even weapons. Not only the gear, also weapons. Rings, trinkets, necklace. A full freaking set. Eye level 13. Boom. Level 10 character will be overpowered as freaking hell. So the question is, why is this added into the game? Why are you so overpowered at level 10? With gems, with badass necklaces, rings, I don't know what, gear, sockets on every piece of gear. Why is it so overpowered? Now we have the heirlooms, right? That has always been helping us from time to time. But this is another level. Since you have this, right? Let's say that you have this gear. If you have this gear, you are overpowered as hell, but you can still level up your character, right? You level up your character, eventually this gear will not be as good as anymore. Of course, the trinkets will still be pretty damn good, but other pieces of gear won't be that good. And even if you would use those trinkets, it'll still be a little bit too overpowered to carry those trinkets with you when you level up. So I'm thinking like this. I think this is a closed gameplay. I don't think this is outdoor. I don't think that you will be able to wear all this shit and walk around and be like, hey man, check me out as level 10. Because that would be very weird. Because that means that all gear that has to do with leveling can go fuck itself. All heirlooms can go fuck itself. A lot of stuff in the game will not be important anymore. So it feels like this has something to do with that you opt into something. You opt into something with this piece of gear. But the question is, why would you do that? Let's say that you do opt into something. Let's say you enter something. It's kind of scenario or something, right? That's not can be hard. It can be, well, probably going to be hard. Otherwise, you're going to be like a god in there, right? But the question is, why do you want to enter there? Will you enter something that has to do with lower level character? Which means that all your abilities, all your stuff that you normally have at level 70, all that will go away. You will have very minimum amount of abilities to use as level 10, right? So what does that mean? You enter a scenario with a low level character with much less abilities than you used to compared to a max level character, but you're geared as hell? What do you do then? What will you do in that scenario? With less abilities but more overpowered gear? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. So the question is though, could it be that the eye level 13 is just a placeholder right now? Let's say that the eye level will be higher. Let's say it's a placeholder. Let's play with that thought. It's a placeholder. The eye level will be higher. Even though everything is 13, let's say it's going to be higher. What will that do? Let's say that you can get this stuff when you level 70. Let's say everything scales up level 70. What will that give? And also, there's one more thing that I didn't mention, which is very important in this. There are also time running gems. Not only the ephemeral gems, there are also time running gems. These time running gems literally increases with the level of your socketed item. So let's say you have a piece of gear that is like eye level 400. The gems will scale to it. These time running gems will scale to it. Yeah, so the question is, will it still be eye level 13? Or is it just a placeholder? Will it go up, will it go down? We don't know. But what we can say is gear and icons of other items, that is the eye level 13 stuff we just went through, is tied to Mist of Pandaria. That's also one of the things. It's tied to Mist of Pandaria.